What if I told you that the people quietly winning at life right now aren't doing anything dramatic? They're not waking up at 4 a.m. and grinding for 6 hours. They're not overhauling their entire existence on January 1st. They're doing tiny, almost embarrassingly small things every single day, and those things are compounding into massive results. Today, I'm giving you 20 micro habits that are genuinely changing lives in 2026, and by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why small is the new powerful. Before we get into the list, I need you to understand something fundamental. Your brain is not wired to handle massive change. When you try to overhaul your life all at once, your nervous system reads that as a threat. It resists, it sabotages, it burns out. But when you introduce a change so small that your brain barely notices it, something remarkable happens. The resistance disappears, the habit sticks, and then it grows. That's the entire philosophy behind micro habits, and once you understand it, you'll never approach self-improvement the same way again. Alright, let's get into it. Micro habit number 1. Drink a full glass of water before you touch your phone in the morning. That's it. Before you scroll, before you check notifications, before anything, 16 ounces of water. Your body wakes up dehydrated every single morning, and that dehydration affects your mood, your focus, and your decision-making within the first hour of your day. This one tiny act sets a physiological foundation that shapes everything that follows. Number 2. Write down 3 things you want to accomplish today. Not a full to-do list, just 3. When you force yourself to prioritize, you stop living reactively. You stop letting other people's urgencies become your emergencies. 3 things, written by hand if possible, every morning. Number 3. Take 5 deep breaths before any important conversation, meeting, or task. This isn't meditation. This isn't some hour-long mindfulness session. It's literally 5 breaths. What it does is activate your parasympathetic nervous system, pulling you out of reactive mode and into a calmer, more focused state. People who do this consistently report making noticeably better decisions throughout their day. Number 4. Stand up and move your body for 2 minutes every hour. In 2026, we're spending more time sedentary than any generation in human history. Set a timer, stand up, walk to another room, do 10 jumping jacks, shake your arms out. 2 minutes. That's all. Research consistently shows that breaking up long periods of sitting has meaningful benefits for both your physical health and your cognitive function. Number 5. End every shower with 30 seconds of cold water. Not a full cold plunge, not 10 minutes of ice bath. Just the last 30 seconds of your shower, turn it cold. The alertness you feel afterward is real. The mood elevation is real. And the discipline muscle you build by doing something uncomfortable every single day is invaluable. 30 seconds builds mental toughness in a way you have to experience to believe. Number 6. Read 1 page of a book before bed instead of scrolling. Just 1 page. Most people will end up reading more once they start, but the commitment is only 1 page. The reason this works is because it replaces the blue light and dopamine hit of a screen with something that actually prepares your brain for rest. Over a year, even just 1 page a day compounds into a book, or more of reading you wouldn't have done otherwise. Number 7. Say something specific and genuine to one person every day. Not a generic compliment, something real. Tell a colleague that their idea in the meeting was actually brilliant. Tell your partner what specifically made you grateful for them today. This habit rewires how you pay attention to the people around you. You start noticing what's good about people because you're looking for it. Number 8. Spend 2 minutes tidying one area of your space before you leave it. Not your whole house, not a deep clean, just the immediate area you're leaving. Your kitchen counter before you leave the kitchen. Your desk before you leave your office. Clutter creates low-grade cognitive load, meaning your brain is constantly processing visual chaos in the background. Reducing it, even in small increments, frees up mental energy you didn't even know you were spending. Number 9. Replace one complaint today with a question about what you can actually do about the situation. This is harder than it sounds. Complaining is mentally comfortable because it outsources responsibility. But the moment you ask yourself what action is available to you, your brain shifts from victim mode into problem-solving mode. 1 replacement per day. That's all you're committing to. Number 10. Take a 2-minute walk outside after lunch. Not a workout, not a hike, just a short walk in natural light. The combination of movement, daylight, and a brief mental break after eating does something genuinely powerful for your afternoon energy and focus. This is one of the most underrated micro habits on this entire list, and it costs you nothing except the willingness to step outside. Let me pause here for a second because I want to address something. You might be thinking, these sound too small to actually matter, and I get that reaction. We've been conditioned to believe that results require suffering, that if it isn't hard, it isn't working. But that belief is exactly what's been holding so many people back. The magic isn't in the individual habit. The magic is in the identity shift that happens when you do these things consistently. You stop being someone who wants to be healthy, and you start being someone who does healthy things. That identity shift is worth everything. Number 11. Put your phone in another room for the first 30 minutes after you wake up. In a world optimized to steal your attention from the moment your eyes open, this is a radical act. Those first 30 minutes of your day set the neurological tone for how you'll respond to everything that follows. Protect them fiercely. Number 12. Pause for 3 seconds before responding when someone says something that triggers you emotionally. 3 seconds. This is one of the simplest and most powerful communication upgrades available to any human being. In that 3-second window, you move from reaction to response. You maintain relationships. You avoid saying things you'll regret. You come across as measured and thoughtful instead of impulsive. 3 seconds can change outcomes. Number 13. Do one thing today that your future self will thank you for. Just one. It could be sending an email you've been avoiding. It could be going for a walk instead of sitting on the couch. It could be having a conversation you've been dreading. The point is to make the future version of yourself a real person in your mind, someone whose life you're actively building with the choices you make today. Number 14. Eat the first 10 bites of your meal slowly and without distraction. You don't have to eat mindfully for the whole meal, just the first 10 bites. What this does is engage your satiety signals earlier. You actually taste your food. You give your digestive system a better start. And over time, this tiny practice begins to shift your entire relationship with food from something you rush through to something you're actually present for. Number 15. Learn one new small thing every day and write it down. Not an entire course, not a skill that takes months to develop, just one small fact, one new word, one interesting concept. The writing is important because it forces processing. Your brain has to engage with the information differently when you write it. Over time, this habit builds what researchers call a growth identity, the self-perception that you are someone who is always learning. Number 16. Track one metric that matters to you for 30 days straight. Pick just one thing. It could be how many hours you slept. It could be how much water you drank. It could be whether you exercised. Tracking creates awareness. Awareness precedes change. You cannot improve what you do not measure, and you don't need to measure everything, just the one thing that matters most to you right now. Number 17. Spend 5 minutes before bed doing what I call a micro-reflection. Ask yourself 2 questions. What worked today, and what would I do differently? Not a full journal entry, not deep emotional excavation, just 5 minutes of honest self-assessment. People who build this habit report a compounding sense of self-awareness that changes how they move through their days over time. Number 18. Set a single intention at the start of each week. Not goals, not a detailed plan, one guiding intention. Something like, this week I want to be more patient, or this week I want to show up with more energy in my work. An intention acts like a compass rather than a checklist. When you're lost or uncertain during the week, it points you back toward who you're trying to be. Number 19. Smile at yourself in the mirror for 5 seconds in the morning. I know, this one sounds strange and maybe even a little uncomfortable, but there is actual psychological research behind the connection between physical expressions and emotional states. Smiling, even when you don't feel like it, creates a feedback loop in your brain. 5 seconds of choosing to show up for yourself in the morning is more powerful than it sounds. Try it for a week before you decide it doesn't work. Number 20. End each day with one sentence that captures what you want tomorrow to feel like. Not what you want to accomplish, how you want it to feel. Energized, focused, connected, creative, calm. One word or one sentence. This practice does something subtle and important. It moves you out of pure task mode and into intentional living. You start designing the emotional quality of your days rather than just reacting to whatever happens. Now, here's what I need you to understand about everything on this list. None of these habits live in isolation. They interact. They reinforce each other. When you start your morning with water and no phone, you're calmer going into the day. When you're calmer, you handle the 5 deep breaths more naturally. When you handle stress better, your relationships improve. When your relationships improve, your motivation increases. When your motivation increases, you sleep better. When you sleep better, the whole cycle becomes easier to sustain. This is what people mean when they talk about positive feedback loops, and it all starts with something as simple as a glass of water or 30 seconds of cold water. The question I always get is, where do I start? And my answer is always the same. Pick one. Not 5, not 10, just one. The one that felt most uncomfortable when I described it, or the one that your gut said you actually need. Start there. Do it every day for 2 weeks without adding anything else. Then, when it feels automatic, add another one. This is not a sprint. This is not a 30-day transformation challenge. This is building a life, one invisible improvement at a time. The people who are quietly thriving in 2026 aren't special. They're not more disciplined than you at their core. They've just understood something that most people haven't figured out yet. Progress doesn't require pain. Change doesn't require drama. The life you want isn't one massive leap away. It's 20 small steps, done consistently, compounding over time into something that will genuinely surprise you when you look back. Pick your one habit today. Start it tomorrow morning. Not next Monday, not after things settle down, tomorrow. Your future self is counting on the decision you make in the next 24 hours. And if you want more content like this, subscribe, because we're going deep on personal development, habits, and the psychology of change all year long. Drop in the comments which habit you're starting with. I read every single one of those, and I want to hear what you're building.